Howdy, people of the internet. We are here with Awkward Academy doing another Game Gab. Okay, I will be hosting this one yet again in a row. Twofer, doing great. Okay, and my co-host here is going to be Justin, also known as Reverend Schmitty, also known as the Brown Frown that's down to clown in Pound Town. And
when did you think that one up?
Last time we did this.
Just sitting on that for 2 weeks, huh?
Yep, it's been doing great. And I'm John, also known as Sworn to Valor, also known as Captain Virgin, also known as
White Buffalo.
White Buffalo. Many a name. So, this time we're going to be covering the upcoming Nintendo Switch that is be coming out in a few days. March 3rd.
Indeed.
If for those of you who haven't heard and have been living under a rock for the past, half year?
Something like that, yeah, I think.
It is Nintendo's latest console they're coming out with. Either took off from the Wii U and are continuing with the whole handheld hybrid, TV hookup thing they got going on.
Supposedly not going to eat into the 3DS market. That's what they're saying, at least.
I mean, I can understand. Seems like it's very drastic price ranges, actually. Because, this is carrying, a $300 price tag on it?
Yeah, but I think when the 3DSs are new, I think they're pretty close to that, $250.
Dang.
And I mean, with Wii U's, horrible sales, most of Nintendo's money's been coming from the 3DS.
Oh. Makes sense. Alright, so, let's start with exactly what it is. It is the Nintendo Switch kind of has a center screen, much like the Wii U, and the two side controlling areas. However, they are detachable. Okay, you can dock it on to a little tiny port that HDMI's into your TV, or you yank that puppy out and you got your controllers attached. Now, another option is you can carry this screen with you, set it down on a table or prop it up or whatever, and then take out these controllers, hand one to a friend.
It has a little kickstand on the back for it to stand up on its own.
Like a picture frame, I guess.
Yeah.
And you can take out those controllers and play with a friend. Now, they say these are going to be complete controllers, but
Joy-Con controllers.
When I look at them, they don't look like it. There's one trigger and one bumper on one side of the controller, and you're going to be using the right thumb joystick, which, for anyone who's played COD, I imagine is going to be somewhat uncomfortable for walking around, or going to have a learning curve. Apparently, they have motion tracking, much like the Nintendo Wii motes, and they have the really, really good rumble in them now.
HD rumble. They had a demo for it at the Nintendo Expo where you have a cup full of ice, and they drop the ice cubes in. You're supposed to be able to feel the ice cubes fall down the cup and clatter together, and you can shake it. And it's supposed to feel like there's really ice cubes inside your controller.
Huh.
Pretty gimmicky, if you ask me, but whatever. One of them also has an infrared sensor in it. Of course, they both track motion for games like Arms, where you're punching each other in boxing. And a 1-2 switch. It's basically the new Wii Sports. You got all kinds of game, like one where you get to quick draw. I heard there's an eating game that's supposed to look pretty dirty because you're doing like this. And I think there's one where you're milking a cow or something going like this.
Well, they already had the soda shaking one in Wii Wii, right?
I don't remember that one.
That was an infamous game.
Could be.
About. Either way, so yeah, all sorts of fun gonna be had there.
And those little bitty Joy-Con controllers are actually $50 a pop. They're this big, tiny little controllers, $50 or $80 for a pair. So you definitely don't want to lose them.
Yeah, and I believe the upcoming ones, aren't they coming in 3 colors? You have the black, and then you have the one that has one blue, one red, the neon?
Yeah, neon.
Yeah.
And you can actually pre-order them too. At least you could. Pre-order's been sold out for weeks. Everywhere, except eBay, if you want to pay huge surcharge.
Yeah. Now, down to the hardware of this particular system, you're looking at a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of storage space.
32 gigs built in, but you can use a micro SD, or standard SD, And you're definitely going to need one. Because they're already showing games like Breath of the Wild. The new Zelda, I believe, is 8 gigabytes. So that's a quarter of your storage right there. So you're definitely going to want that SD storage. I believe it's compatible with up to 256 gigabytes confirmed. Probably bigger. But you go bigger than that on an SD card, they get pretty expensive. Might want to hold off for them to get cheaper.
Yeah, they always are. On top of that, we also have the problem that it's going to run into where it can only go up to, 720 on the screen that's built into it?
If you're playing it on battery power alone, to conserve that battery life, which is currently about 6 hours average, it does down res to 720p. But it can go all the way up to 1080p, depending upon the game, when you are in docked TV mode.
I have, however, heard that regarding that 6-hour playtime, that during Breath of the Wild, Nintendo is saying you could play it for 3 hours.
3?
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's a pretty game.
Yeah.
Especially open world, there's a lot to active render and load.
However, even when plugged in, I'm told Breath of the Wild only renders at 900p.
I'm not a big stickler for that as long as the frame rate's good. And they're saying the frame rate will be the same either way, only resolution will change.
Now, beautiful thing about it, though, is the fact that as far as videos are concerned, apparently it can do 4K. So, 30 frames?
Presumably.
Yeah. Also, it's got like a special HDMI port, right? It's like a HDMI 3.1 or whatever.
I didn't see anything special about that, but I wouldn't be surprised because the dock itself is $90 if you lose it or need a new one. These accessories, man, they're trying to stick you on them.
Oh, seriously. The each individual Joy-Con is apparently supposed to have 20 hours of battery life.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that you have to take that thing and plug it back in to the TV mount to be able to recharge the controllers. They don't have batteries, do they?
No, they do.
So,
well, they have batteries, but you can't pop them out.
So, and if you want the separate charger, the Joy-Con charger that you can put them up on, that actually costs how much more? 30?
The charging grip is $30. Yes.
That's insane.
And the Pro controller, which is like a Xbox style controller, supposed to feel really good, is $60. That's right there in line with your typical PlayStation, Xbox controllers on the high end, like when they have the special colors and such.
Now, also, apparently this is the first Nintendo console since the GameCube to not be able to play the previous generation's games. Is what I've read, personally. I could be misinformed.
I have a Wii U. I don't remember if I can play Wii games or not. It probably can. It could be.
Well,
it definitely does not have backwards compatibility on the Switch.
Yeah. So, but another interesting thing about the Switch is they're trying to get into that whole online marketplace thing, much like Xbox Live and PSN. They're going to start doing the monthly subscription service. Subscription service. Only one.
I'll just take another swig of that. Loosen yourself up. Indeed, they're going to have that. It's going to start out with a free trial for people to get used to it, see what it offers. Yeah, it is going to have a free game every month. Mostly Nintendo classics like NES and Super Nintendo. But you don't get to keep them. You don't get to keep the game permanently. It's only free for that month, and then it goes back, and you get a different one for the next month.
Now, I've also heard that some of these classic games they're going to be putting on there, they're going to change some of the multiplayer aspects to allow you to go over to, not have something that's typically split screen or typically, stuff like that to still function.
And the Switch is also the first Nintendo console, possibly ever, at least in a while, that is completely region-free. So the 3DS, for example, is split between a North American one and well, actually, I'm not sure if it's North American or not, but I know the Japanese one strictly plays Japanese games. And then the other ones play other region games. And so they're region locked. The Switch, completely unlocked. They're done with that crap.
That seems like it'd be really controversial, though.
I'm glad they did it. It's just easier, especially with the shortages we're having on Switches. It's a lot easier to import, and you don't have to worry about trying to flash anything.
I believe it. Man, I entirely lost my train of thought. Alrighty. Extra chargers, 720 screen.
It's running on a new mobile NVIDIA Tegra graphics card. So it's definitely not as powerful as the current existing PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. But it is definitely a step up from the Wii U. So games can run full 1080p. They can run 60 frames a second. Presumably, Call of Duty is going to get back on them. Call of Duty was on the Wii. And it should be plenty powerful to run 1080p 60 frames a second. But I could also see it running 60 frames a second in a lower one, just as the Xbox One has done. It actually ran Call of Duty Black Ops 3, I think it was, 900p 60 frames a second. So the Switch is more powerful than the Wii U, not as powerful PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, not to mention the PlayStation 4 Pro and the upcoming Xbox Scorpio, which is supposed to be way more powerful than all of them. So I think that pretty much covers the hardware and the specs and all the little fine details. It really just comes down to now, like, what do you think of it?
I think it's got a whole lot of problems. Like, apparently there's going to be a big day one patch. As soon as it drops, it's going to try and implement the online store.
There always are, to be fair.
And then they say that most of it is going to be unavailable. They're expecting just a few games to be immediately available. You're not going to have the full online marketplace capability that they're trying to build. So really, the system is being released before all of the, I guess, variables or all the add-ons to it that are going to really make it appealing are going to be present. Kind of shows a rush on their part, I could see.
The patch, that's whatever. That's just something we have to deal with every console now. It's getting closer and closer to PC gaming. What I don't like about the Switch is the fact that its games seem to be lacking. Breath of the Wild looks awesome.
Mario Kart.
Really good. That Mario Kart is actually just Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's a Wii U game that's being, like, upgraded.
And then
so it's an
Mario
old game.
Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey, not coming out till, like, December.
Fire Emblem.
This season. Yeah, who cares about those? I'm not into JRPGs personally. But then, like, another big game that they were talking about is Splatoon 2. I've read that it's actually more like Splatoon 1 with a bunch of, like, new upgrades and remasters and stuff. And then another game they're touting, Skyrim, as we talked about in the last one. That game came out 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So they've touted how many third-party developers they have. I believe it's like 73 plus and counting that are going to be supporting the Switch, which is good. That's great. But when? And are they always going to be last-gen ports? Because just like the Wii U, that game was coming out like with, what was it called? It was some special version of Arkham City, a game that came out before it. And I think the same thing with Mass Effect 3. So it's supporting games that came out a generation before, and then it's remastering to look pretty, which kind of then makes you wonder, is it really current gen, or is it somewhere in the middle? I want the Switch to really bring the games. I mean, we need it.
Yeah, and I mean, Nintendo used to be like the powerhouse of this kind of stuff. I mean, of course, they're going to come out with the Super Smash Bros. I mean, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah. That's going to be really cool.
Oh, man. And they're always, like, they've picked up in adding heroes, so I'm really hoping they can get kind of crazy with it.
I imagine, I don't know, I could see them very easily just doing a port of the current Super Smash Bros. Wii U onto it for a while before making the new one. Which is probably already in development, but we haven't seen or heard anything about it. And we've already got a big Mario title coming this fall, so I don't see them doing two in one season.
So how do you think it's going to sell?
Well,
I mean, it's already like...
Judging by pre-orders, I think it's going to sell really well starting out, at least. I imagine its first year is going to be good, but then after that, if we don't start getting those games and those reasons to buy, I think it's going to slow down.
I gotcha. Maybe they're just like, just kind of pulling strings out of their ass for, like, trying to get all these games out there, basically just remasters, and then like Mario Kart. And they're just really hoping they can make enough money starting off to maybe make a decent original game for it. And Breath of the Wild is the only one that's like really, really, really got a lot of hype. And I've seen people that are just like, man, I never pre-order. I'm never going to pre-order anything. Not going to pre-order a thing in the world. Breath of the Wild.
I wanted to pre-order the Switch. I debated it. I really thought about it. I was weighing the options. Decided not to. There's not enough games out right now. I can always pick one up later when there are. But I mean, it's sold out everywhere. Well, so like, I think the market needs a healthy Nintendo. Like, it helps create that competition. It gives you good variety. It's not as much focus strictly between PlayStation and Xbox. And who doesn't want a new Mario game, you know? Like, those guys, they know what they're doing.
Oh, also, for all you listeners in the UK, apparently, like, right off the bat, the online marketplace is specifically Canada, US, Mexico, North America. That's it. I don't know why, probably because they're like, we are probably a huge market for online gaming in that particular area. A lot of people with internet and a huge population as it goes. But that's just what I read. So they may change that, especially considering the fact the market's not even entirely completed, like being put together yet.
Yeah, and the online portion, they're actually going to use a separate, a cell phone app that you plug your headphones in to use for voice chat when you're playing a game. It's not even carried on the console itself.
And didn't they try to wash that as a good thing?
Yeah, they're trying to say it helps you from having to wear something like a bulky gamer headset. So,
yeah,
there's that.
Just use the same mic you use with your mobile phone and it'll work. Meanwhile, you could do the exact same thing on Xbox 360. Just plug your... It's irritating.
So final thoughts on the Switch. What's the bottom line for you?
My bottom line is that I will probably not buy it. Like, you know that I don't buy a lot of systems unless it takes a lot of pressing. But this system in particular, I might go half-seas with you on. If it was, like, good. But,
strictly like a Mario Kart Smash Bros. System.
Yeah, like, I would not be like, oh, I'm gonna get, like... Nowadays, everything's getting so close to PCs. Nintendo needs to stop trying to be a PC. Systems need to stop trying to be a PC. So.
For me, I'll probably pick up a Switch once more games come out. If good games come out. Because I've had Nintendos forever, man. I've had the NES, I had the Game Boy, I had the Game Boy SP, and the first DS, and then the DSi, I think, and the GameCube, of course, and a Wii. I even got a Wii U, even though it's pretty crappy. So I want the Switch to be awesome. If it is, I'm definitely gonna pick one up. I want the neon. I like that red and blue. A lot of people say it looks tacky. Those are Mario colors, man. That's Nintendo colors right there. I want that shit.
I'm fine with the red and blue. I mean, I remember the red and blue N64 controllers.
I always wanted the see-through purple one, but never got it.
My buddy Jesse had one.
Fuck him. So yeah, I want it to be good, but the game's got to be there first, or I'm not going to drop $300 on it.
So yeah, I guess that's we cover all the bases. You got anything else that you know of regarding the game? Any good stats, oriented stuff? Because my notes are out.
Regarding what game?
Or the game system?
No, I think we went through pretty much everything. Coming out March 3rd, $300, sold out everywhere. All your accessories are going to be crazy expensive, so don't lose or break them.
Oh, something that we did not mention. The Switch is not going to come with any bundles that are going to include games. They've painted this as a good thing. They say, oh, well, this means people, whenever they purchase the system, will be able to pick whatever game they want with it.
And they're saying that the console itself and with the accessories is $300 worth of content right there.
Yeah, so you're going to be spending $300 plus $60 for a game, unless you want to play like some free first month game that they're going to be having. And I don't think they have that.
Yeah, assuming they have that at launch. I'm not convinced that they will.
Yeah. So,
especially given the fact that Nintendo Online will start with a free trial just to get the ball rolling.
yeah. So, I feel like a lot of things they're doing is just trying to imitate the success of the Western gaming companies whenever we make stuff like that. And they seem to be really trying to Westernize a lot.
I think that's smart. I think they need to.
Oh, I agree, but I also feel like they're just not implementing it as well. Like, here it's like, oh, here, have a free game, thanks for paying monthly. And there it's like, oh, have a free game for a month, and
then give it back.
Yeah. So, thank you for listening. I'm sorry if there were some long, awkward silences and a lot of uhs.
Awkward Academy. It's called Awkward Academy for a reason.
So, he's Reverend Schmitty. You can get at him at Twitter, at Reverend Schmitty.
Mm-hmm.
Me, you can find me at Captain_Virgin on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. He's never on there, but he might be.
Yeah, get enough fans, I'll feel obligated to.
You will.
So,
he craves it.
Awkward Academy, signing off. Over dramatic salute.